Once again, how is everyone? Welcome to the Potty Mouth Garden Club with my esteemed gardening friends there. Oh, it's just very nice, very nice. Thank you. And thank you everyone that's popped into the chat as well. Joanne, Carol, Alec, Jessie, isn't it? It's our Jessie. Ashley, Allotted Chef, Chris, John, thank you so much. JB. Now, JB's left a little note. We're going to be having it's a quick show today because life moves on and JB's got to be kind of doing something. So
I'm getting kicked out of the office.
Yes, we're going to have a shortish show. JB, I'm getting distracted, JB, by such a beautiful bit of garlic.
There's an elephant in the room that needs to be addressed.
If I could grow garlic like that, Audrey. It's the eyelashes. Man, I tell you what.
Aren't they fabulous?
It's getting his blood pumping, I tell you. You know how us English, you know what I mean? We don't do that, don't we not? We're kind of so reserved. No, I don't think I'll dress up. That's not me. But God, use Americans. Is that
no? Don't judge the entire country on what I'm doing here.
What you're looking like. Is that homemade, Audrey? Is it?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. It's a photo I got printed and put the bow on it, and it was all about how to make it stick then to my face. So anyway, I am now officially a bulb of garlic.
Oh, that's lovely. That's
incredible effort.
Jessie, love to have you on here as well. Thank you so much. Nice to have you. So
I feel wildly underdressed.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, we bulbs know how to, bring it to the party. Okay.
Audrey, will that be is this a one-off, or will you use that again? Is that with this?
Oh no, this is pretty much a one-off.
A one-off, right.
Oh yeah. I'm not putting these lashes back on ever.
There's a 60s girl there. Eh?
Yeah, I need go-go boots on.
So, anything been happening? Well, I tell you what, just for me, just to kind of kick things off, I'm seeming to get energized. The more the veg are kind of finishing for the season, it's almost like playtime again, and I'm kind of in the allotment. And I mean, it's been a miserable day today, just freezing cold last night, heating up to 21 degrees, and then and then just wet today, just man. So, but is anyone else getting kind of energized, or Jibby, you're nodding away like mad there? Yes.
Massive,
you are.
Yes, yeah. The garden mojo for me has never been bigger. I think it's mainly the shed project and all the excitement. But yeah, I'm really, this past couple of weeks, I felt more excited to be in the garden than I have in a really long time. And so it's interesting that that's coincided with yours. And I was speaking to Liz the other day actually as well, and she's found exactly the same thing. After a pretty tough year, there's something about this change of the season that doesn't seem to be as down and maybe slightly depressing, like it can be. I'm loving it. I'm making use of, even when it's pretty grey and miserable and rainy, trying to get out, and I'm really enjoying it.
Well, there's no when you turn up, you don't get disheartened when, especially Jess, foxes have been and just wrecked everything. You're kind of just thinking, well, what can I build? What can I make? What can I kind of put right and have just enjoy the allotment? Where I know I'm mentioning it, Jess, but when you kind of rock up there and foxes are wrecking everything every day, that's probably one of the worst, things I've seen happen to a gardener, and it becomes the norm, so it'd be kind of bloody horrible. So I'm enjoying gardening now, just playing. This is the way I'm kind of looking at it now, playing, So
I like that, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mind you, JB,
you're still bringing a lot of harvests home, Tony. Even though you're just playing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No.
You've had a great gardening year.
I'll tell you what I am going to do. I'm going to, because I've got some really hot chilies. I've got them Jess has got some bergamottas. I've got some. I'm going to make a hot sauce. I'm just going to ferment them with those jigsaw ones.
Oh yeah.
JB, and I just to see
Oh,
what.
that's gonna blow your doors
Oh, I know,
off.
I know, because I made some more hot sauce yesterday with the ring of fire with the seeds and the pith in. Way hotter than even the iron yellows. Do you know what I mean? I thought I was.
Really?
I thought I was. Oh. You know what I mean? I'd taken all them. I'm used to the yellow one. Do you know what I mean? We're having it like tomato sauce. You know what I mean? It's just kind of. But then,
Wow.
then I had the one with all the seeds in, and I thought. But it's funny how it's you get used to it by the time the bottle's finished, and that's why it's one of the reasons to kind of make a hotter one, just to see.
You can. Everyone's different, but you can get used to the heat quite quickly. Some people. I mean, I eat quite a lot of hot sauce, but there's still definitely sort of. I know where my limit is. You know, anything around the kind of mostly habanero stuff is pretty hot for me, and you really have to dial it back. But yeah, I've got a few hot sauces. Super hots. I mean, I do have a few hot sauces as well, yeah. But I meant I've got quite a few super hots I've just harvested, and I'm not quite sure what to do with them.
Just one. Daisy! She's squatting at her bed and she rips the bed. 1 second.
I thought he was going to bring out a prop. I thought
Yeah,
that was
that's what it
like,
looked like,
it's
Hold
hot
on
sauce
one
time
minute.
for Tony's hot sauce. He's like, no, I've just got to shout at the dog.
I can hear her scratching the bed, and she goes through her bed, and like she'll rip it, and it'll be wrecked. And
Oh, dear me.
there we go. Sorry, JB, you were saying.
I was saying, yeah, the super hots this year, I'm not 100% sure what to do with them. I do normally make a hot sauce, but then it just lives in the cupboard forever and ever. Although there was someone at the allotment, one of the newbies who started recently, she was saying she really likes hot sauce. And I was like, I've got loads that, it's literally too hot for me to eat if you like it spicy. And she was like, yeah, I'll happily have some. So she might be getting some donations, and I'll see if she can actually take it or not. Because, I've got 7-pot Primo, which look terrifying. A few of those that I've started harvesting, the bleeding jigsaw as well, which I tasted one of them the other day.
All right.
They are very hot. They are very, 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 very hot. They are Mamma Mia hot.
Are they? All right.
Very hot.
Nice.
They are very hot, Tony. Yeah, I did it on video, and we got a little Mamma Mia moment. But yes.
They're not a bonny chili, them ones, mind. They're like a kind of, or mine are turning out like a wishy-washy peach colour.
The peach.
Is that right? Yeah.
It's not the prettiest to look at, is it?
No.
And mine are quite smooth. I don't know, did yours come out? I like it when they're like super lumpy bumpy and they look dangerous. Mine are a little smooth this year.
Right.
It's a bit disappointing.
My boot jalopia are really lumpy.
Yeah, lumpy bumpy. That's the good stuff.
It looks like crinkled paper. They're just like yeah.
Are they turning red?
Danger is.
Yes. Are they going red?
I've got one that is like proper red, ready to go. I just haven't grown the bollocks to actually pick it yet. But the rest of them are, coming along. They're starting to change. They are starting. They don't look quite as green.
You ever done a taste test on a video, Jessie?
No.
Never will.
And I don't intend to.
I gave the first year that we grew the orange habaneros. I didn't know that habaneros were particularly hot or whatever, so I took a nice big fat slither of that and crunched into it, which was. It was warm. I got hiccups. Mum got hiccups.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I love that. Love it.
But I mean, it wasn't unbearable, and it didn't last very long. But yeah, that's probably the only time. And I didn't have the camera rolling, unfortunately, because it would have been amusing. But I hadn't realised what I was walking into. So yeah. But nothing that I've grown since. Like I will eat a hot lemon. I don't have a problem eating that raw. That's not like. But I wouldn't go. I'm afraid of the boot jalopia.
I think it's a very sensible thing to be afraid of, isn't it? Really, it's sensible.
Where is the bird jalopers then, JB, in the scale of things? Are they like stupidly even hotter than the jigsaw thing? Is it?
No, so they were like one of the Butcherlokia was like the first super hot, and I think don't quote me on it, but I think it was around 800,000 to a million Scoville. So it was the first one that was kind of pushing towards a million, and it got like the world's hottest. You know, it's kind of hard to quantify, but that was around 2008, that sort of time.
Mm-hmm.
And since then, you know, that's when everyone went, right, the race is on to try and breed the hottest pepper, and all the breeders went kind of crazy with it. And so now, like the Bleeding Jigsaw, for example, is marketed at around 2 million.
Right.
You know, Chili Champ on his website reckons it's 1.2 to 1.6. But it varies so much between not only individual plants, but individual pods from the plant. You know, and once you get kind of above a million, it's all very, you know, very.
Can you even tell the difference?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, the Bleeding Jigsaws
yeah.
are kind of hotter than the Bertullogas.
They are hot. They
right.
are hot.
Right.
Really tasty though. The one that I did have a bite of.
How can you, Jimmy? That cannot work. How can you taste it? Because it must just hit you.
Yeah, it all depends on the pepper. Some I really do find quite tasteless. I did quite a lot of taste testing in the last video I recorded, and some of them are just like, yeah, there's not much there, or like a vague hint of kind of like sweetness or something like that. But the Bleeding Jigsaw is like, it's one of those floral ones.
Right.
Really like floral kind of explosion, quite citrusy, and then the heat follows. Yeah. I only had a very small, you know, nibble. I didn't eat the whole thing or anything like that. And you know, the further down the chili, the more mild it is. So the more you get towards the stalk, the more pith and the more seeds. That's the bit to avoid.
So what you gonna do with yours then?
The Bleeding Jigsaw I will probably source, but I haven't done it yet, and I'm not 100% sure whether or not I should. But maybe I will just source them and donate them.
And ferment them, or just like source it straight away?
Yeah, I pretty much always ferment. Just because it means stuff can be stored in the cupboard and not the fridge. And there's already plenty of hot sauce in the fridge, which Jess constantly moans at me about. So, fermenting.
Yeah, I didn't know that, JB, then. So the sauces I've made, which have all been fermented, they don't have to stay in the fridge?
It all depends how you've done it. To be properly food safe, you need to like follow the correct fermentation procedures, and ideally you want to do a pH check at the end. So I've got a little pH meter, which yesterday I dropped into my hot sauce, so that needs to be replaced, because now there's like a little screen in there. The screen is like filled up with hot sauce. It's like you move it around. So that one needs replacing. But if it's below kind of pH 4, then there are no bad bacteria that are going to grow in there. If you can leave it out on your table on a sunny day and it's fine. It's basically the same as like vinegar or alcohol.
Right.
You know, it becomes completely food safe. So if you're fermenting, that increases the acidity, and then often you add a bit of vinegar anyway. I know you mostly did brine, but they're probably food safe. But you know, you have to be very careful if you're.
I did half and half.
Oh, you did?
Half and half. Yeah.
So long as you need to have fermented it for long enough as well. You know, if you do a 2-week fermentation, that's probably not going to be long enough to bring it down to food safe level. You normally want to do 3 or 4 weeks at a minimum, and then you're probably fine, broadly speaking. But you know, this
what
isn't
would you
food
advise
advice.
then?
Go and read about it.
What would you advise if it was over 5? Not even touch
Over
it? Or?
pH 5.
Yeah.
Fine in the fridge. You know, fine in the fridge for like a month or 2. You know, depending on how risky you feel. But I think, you know, normally if you buy something like that, which has to be stored in the fridge, it will say use within like 3 weeks or a month. But you can potentially add vinegar to bring the pH down. It depends on how sensitive your pH meter is and stuff. But pH is logarithmic. So, you know, the difference between 3 and 4 is massive. And the difference between 4 and 5 is massive. Like small changes to the pH scale have like quite a big, you know, it's multitudes of 10. So, Yeah, I did a video on like making a Louisiana style one where I really went in. It was like much longer than I wanted it to be, but I really wanted it. I didn't want to get sued in case anyone got sick from it. So I was really like, here is like, I really laid out all the basics and stuff I'd learned about keeping it food safe. But I find fermentation like really fascinating.
Mm-hmm. We're doing a little mash one as well there now, what my son is. So, Audrey, are you making any sauces this year? Hot sauces?
I am. I'm going to be dehydrating a lot of my frozen really hots and start cooking. See what we come up with. Have a little chem lab in the kitchen. See what happens.
Nice.
I don't think I'm fermenting any this year, but I'd love to ferment them and then freeze dry them and see what I get.
That'd be funky.
Yeah.
And then stir it into some coffee.
Oh. Okay. Allow me to show you Exhibit
I'm
A.
still thinking about that.
Okay. Well, you shouldn't because it will keep you up at night. This is one of the dehydrated little pucks of pie. It floats on the top of coffee, and it is the most horrific looking thing I've ever seen. And then we thought, well, let's put it in the food processor and make it into a powder. Maybe that will. Oh no, the texture. I will never untaste that. It was horrible. So this was not a win for coffee. In my mind, it sounded fabulous, but oh no. There's a reason that it's spice mix that you add to those things. Yeah.
All right. No,
we lost you for a second there.
Yeah, you were frozen there for a second. Good. But yeah, no, bad idea. Don't anyone do it.
It was last week. It was like, what do you mean? What's wrong with that? It's going to be fine. It'll be lovely. It's pumpkin pie.
I know, and I was thinking back to that, and I thought, Tony, you were the one that had the best thought process on it, because it's going to just stop and turn into a lump at the bottom of my coffee. Well, it didn't. It just floated around the top, and it looked. I'm not going to tell you what it looked like, but it was not a good look.
You're a pioneer, though. Come on.
I'm still figuring this thing out. But everybody likes these. They think they're really good.
So is that just a bit of pumpkin?
That's a piece of pumpkin pie.
Oh, right.
So it's all spiced and tasty, and yeah, they're hard, but they get softer as they start melting in your mouth. It's just a weird texture sometimes. So, but the coffee experiment, bad. The
freeze dry at least should come over, Audrey, and just tear that machine off you, to be honest.
Oh, but I do have a success. Another success. Then. This is a mini ice cream sandwich. Remember we were talking about these last week?
Amazing.
This is a mini one, and it's dry as a bone.
Wow.
Isn't that wild?
Food.
Wild.
Will it eventually soak up atmosphere and get wet and slushy or not? Or will that
I would imagine it would probably take a long time, because this is a pretty
live on air.
Oh.
It's crunchy.
It's crunchy and tastes like ice cream. Oh, kids are going to love this. Oh, my gosh. Oh, I think I'd rather have that than the ice cream.
Is it room temperature? It's not cold, right?
It's not cold. It's totally room temperature. Oh.
Do you know how surreal this is?
Live tasting garlic eating homemade ice cream sandwich.
A garlic eating ice cream sandwich.
Dressed as a garlic.
Well, I grow pretty good garlic around here, so maybe they would like it. Oh, that's really good. Okay, that's a win right there. That's a win.
Do we have?
But I
do
did
we have
plant
the-
a lot of garlic this week.
Oh,
Because I have to keep my people. I said I planted a lot of garlic this week because I have to keep my people happy.
Yes, I got some garlic in as well this week as well. Anybody else get some garlic planted?
I haven't
Ooh,
planted it
yes.
yet, but I did get some.
Right.
And I
Jess,
planted less than 200 cloves.
Well done. Oh,
Wow.
that's
I mean,
growth,
like
isn't it?
barely any got planted. So
I think I've done quite a lot, and it must have just be about 20 cloves. That's it.
no, I was being very, very self-controlled this year. So
Jess,
you were going to ask a question, Tony.
No, I was going to ask
Sorry.
Jess. I know she's got white rot there. We talked about it last week, but I can't remember what we said. Are you putting any in, Jess, or are you doing tubs with it, or?
My current thinking is no.
Right.
But whether I, feel like I'm missing out and change my mind later on, I don't know. But every year, it doesn't seem to matter what I do; they just rot out. So, is it worth it? I don't know.
Why don't you send them to me and I'll grow them for you?
And then you can freeze dry them and bring them back on the boat.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Did you see Audrey's like a little tear in her garlic angel eyes there when you said I'm not going to do any? You know what I mean? It was like the garlic angel there.
We'll all be very sad, but we don't like white rot.
No,
It messes with our hair.
I normally always do hard neck because even if the bulbs rot out, I tend to still get escape like before that happens. So you're still getting something out of them. Last year I didn't even get any escapes. So, well, they sort of did, and then there was nothing. Yeah.
Oh,
It's sad times on the garlic front.
I'm sorry.
Been there.
Yeah. But you see, now we're talking about it. I'm like, oh, I could just put some in.
Yeah.
Like,
So it's very tempting, isn't it?
yeah. I've just
It's
cleared
worth
a load
another
of
go in
beds as well,
pots.
so
Yeah.
yeah.
We try hard to grow, but sometimes.
Yeah, can you have a word, Queen Garlic? Like,
Well, actually, it would be my chin that would be where the roots are. So yeah, we don't like little thin goatees hairs coming out of there. So yeah, we're not a fan of white rot.
Everyone seems to be kind of planting it there, like so.
yeah, I'm looking
Yes,
in the comments. Lots
Yes.
of garlic enthusiasm.
Yeah, I got some bulbs from Grown Local, as did many people in the chat, and I opened the bag and I swore because I've never seen garlic so huge in my life. I was like, blimey!
I think you
I've
have
never
now.
seen bulbs like it.
Yeah, there's
I have now. Yeah, indeed. Although, yeah, I mean, Ian's elephant garlic would give you a run for the money, Audrey. It was
Yeah.
pretty big.
It's
It was
huge.
pretty chunky.
I'm hoping, like I say, I'm doing buckets, but the only thing that's going to let me down with that is my watering. Do you know what I mean? Just when it gets to that kind of dry season, you know what I mean? And it's like, I know the problem, you know what I mean? That's the problem, just me kind of watering the bloody things, you know what I mean? So,
yeah.
and you
How
can't
many,
really.
how many cloves?
I had a bag of Maddock White, a bag of Kingsland, I think it was called, and then 5 elephant garlic.
Yeah, nice.
In-
I
in the
meant to say, sorry. How many have you done per pot? Have you done them in the big potato tubs?
The 30-litre ones. I went actually back up because there was quite a few people in the comments. Could I put 5 elephant garlics in one? Because I was too stingy to open another bag of compost.
Yeah, yeah, that's me. Yeah,
You know what I mean?
very good.
I was like, oh, keep it for later, keep it for later. And I went, but there was everyone saying, oh, sorry, I would only put 2 in one of them. And I was like, oh,
2,
bloody hell.
really?
So, I've got a 3 and a 2. You know what I mean? So,
That's pretty good. I did, yeah. When I did my experiment last year, just with the shop bought stuff, I put like 5 or 6 in each one. It might have been one of the reasons that the end plants were quite small. In the
Yeah,
end.
we don't really like to be crowded together.
Good to have it, straight from the horse's mouth. Isn't it? You won't get this anywhere else, folks.
The horse is something, yeah.
Are we slinging any tomatoes home still? Mind you, we've just picked today. the biggest bowl full of like little cherry tomatoes we've had all this season from them out there. You know,
Wow.
like yeah.
Nice.
I mean, and you know, our clocks have kind of went back, so it's getting dark at 5 there now. So I'm gonna probably rip out everyone apart from one plant, which is I think it's called Bliss, which is the little yellow ones. So because they're all done, we've used all the red tomatoes. You know what I mean? We've actually picked them all, which is been lovely, to be honest. So they've
Those
got that.
Bliss, actually.
Sorry, Jess.
I was just going to say, did you find? I thought that Bliss had a really good flavour.
Are these the yellow ones? Like little
yellow, like
yeah.
grape, little mini grape shape. You know.
Yeah. No, I was really surprised because I'm kind of always think yellow's not a very nice taste. And I know that sounds a bit blanket statement, but I never seem to find it. Like you know what I mean? Yeah, but definitely. But they're the ones that we've had probably about say 20 to 30 tomatoes off it, but there's still maybe like possibly 100 tomatoes off these plants that are there that are still green.
Wow.
So
Wow.
I want them to kind of still, well, maybe not 100, you know what I mean? Just quite a few anyways. They're so late in ripening, do you know what I mean? And now the clocks have changed. We're on such a narrow little window now, you know what I mean? So
The Bliss have ripened up really well for me at home.
right.
Like absolute solid green ones, not even a hint, you know, and they've all gone yellow. So it's worth bringing them in.
I honestly thought, Jess, that was like you couldn't do that. Always thought you had to have like a blush tinge to a tomato, but solid green that's amazing, to be honest. Because they have
to have formed their seeds inside. So anything that's undersized that hasn't actually formed their internals yet won't ever ripen. But anything that has, it can be as green as anything. It will go red.
Oh, that's interesting.
There we go. Well, I never knew that. I didn't, honestly, because I was thinking, because people were saying, "Oh, let's just put a banana in a bag, Tony." And I was like, "Not going to work if it's green." But
yeah,
that's
Try
nice.
it.
Well, actually, I can pick them now and just get rid of the whole tidy up there. There's a video. Bang, out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got tons. Well, I say tons. That's a wild exaggeration, but I have got still quite a lot of tomatoes in there. But obviously, when I picked these ones, I didn't know that they were all gonna ripen up. But now I know they will. I've got a whole load of them to pick, and I'm going to be stripping out. I was in there this morning actually, and they've gone really mouldy. Not the tomatoes, but the plants. You know, when they get like the mildew on them, and it just starts going nasty.
Yeah.
So it's just time to clear out. They're not going to do anything.
I finally took all mine out on Saturday.
Oh,
kind of went in and I was just like, it's time. They're not doing anything and they're getting pretty gross. The black moon still had it still looked quite healthy, so I felt a bit bad getting rid of it, but it just felt like it was time. It was time. It was one of those days I sort of went up. I was just meant to do a bit of a chili harvest, and I ended up spending 9 hours on the allotment. It was one of those where I was just like, right, well, I guess we'll start cleaning out the polytunnel.
Have you got a happy marriage, JB?
Thankfully, Jess had plans that day.
So if
I'd
just
already cleared it. I had the whole day.
If I just said I'm popping up, I'll pick some chilies, I'll be back, and I was away 9 hours, there would be hell on.
Yeah.
No, thankfully, Jess was doing her own thing that day, so I had carte blanche to be up the plot for as long as I wanted. And there was a lot of like, you know, growing chilies and stuff on the floor. I'm starting to get too old for it. You know, I was like crawling around on my knees for like 2 hours harvesting everything. I was like, I don't know how many more years of this I got left in me.
JB, are you kidding me? You're like 12 years old. What are you talking about? You're so young. I don't get it. Oh my gosh. Oh my god.
JB,
you're a millennial, aren't you? You're a millennial, aren't you?
I am indeed, yeah.
You are? Yeah, well, stop it.
Stop whinging. No, but I get it, JB, when you said about like picking certain ones that are tiny. Because I've got now the piri piris kind of come home and they're just there waiting to be picked, and there's hundreds of them. Do you know what I mean? So that's going to take you know what I mean? I'm looking at that.
It's
All the
going to
others have
take you
gone.
10 minutes, Tony.
10
Well,
minutes. Not true.
Who's this?
Not
This is
true.
the garden police. You know what I mean? It's like the
I know.
garden.
I'm like, I just find it funny.
Pull up your ID as you pick them chilies.
That's right. Come on, get to it.
Are you, Audrey? Have they come home then? Your chilies? Have you nice red baskets of chilies or?
No, I'm pretty. My stuff.
No.
I pulled out, I think, all my chilies last week because we were expecting some frosts or freezes, I should say, and I didn't want to put them through it. But they're all ripened on my counter. A couple of them, like my stripy, peach stripies. Yeah, they all striped because I picked them and they weren't striped, so it was kind of nice to see that.
That's really
and
nice.
I've got a few tomatoes still out there, but we're going up to 76 tomorrow, which is pretty warm for end of October for us. I'm thinking for you guys, that's maybe 18, 19. I'm really guessing. I'm poking that right in the wind. I'm not sure. It's a nice warm day. It's a nice warm day. So I think I might let the tomatoes stay in until our clocks flip, which is next week. And then they all just got to go. Try to get as many as I can that look decent. But it's really time. I mean, I'm on borrowed time right now, and I know it. So everything's pretty much got to come out.
Did I ask you, Audrey, about the sucker challenge? Did you get it? Did the tomato go right?
I did.
Right?
Yes, I got 2 tomatoes off that.
Right.
Did you take any pictures of that one, Audrey? Have we
So,
seen the evidence?
I see if there's no pictures. There's nothing didn't happen. Yeah, I didn't. So, believe me or don't believe me, it's okay. There's no prize, right? Like, I'm not taking anybody's money. So, yeah, and if they weren't there, I don't think I'd say they were there. I just, wouldn't. So, yeah, they were some of the purple.
Proof, really?
Oh, you awarded me the award 2 weeks ago. What are you doing now? You want proof?
I forgot, didn't I? I give you the award.
Yeah, I didn't even get a certificate, so there's nothing to take back. So, minor bragging rights, maybe. But I do have some beautiful red cabbages out there. Red Napa cabbage. So Chinese cabbage. So I'm going to pull those in this week and make some kimchi. I'm very excited about that. I've never made kimchi with red Napa before, and I think that will just be really good.
Look amazing.
Yeah. So that's the big project probably for this week.
Nice.
Has anybody been making anything, cooking anything, preserving anything? Jess, have you done anything?
I've been making tomato sauce this morning. Yeah. Which is something I really thought I wasn't going to get this year. So, I mean, it's not a lot of it. It's not like I'm doing it for the rest of the year, but it's a hint, it's nice. Just really, really good. It's nice to do it. It's such a nice process as well. And then when you haven't had a go and it's now like the end of October and it's like, oh, the first bit of tomato sauce. Wow. It's a bit sad, but at least I got some.
That's wild.
Are you going to keep it, or will it just be used up in the first meal that comes along?
It's not enough to be keeping it. I'll just eat it.
Right.
I just had a load of it on focaccia. Actually, I was just like, It's really good.
Making me hungry.
Yeah.
Have you got JB? Have you got your chili plants still growing? And you've pulled out your tomatoes, but your chili ones are still there, right? Right.
Yeah, so I culled off about half of the chili plants, and I had a really nice harvest, and I wouldn't like to moan about the harvest, but it was actually surprising. I was optimistic all year. I was like, the chilies will get there, it will be okay, we'll get some eventually, and some of the plants this year just didn't. they just didn't. The season wasn't enough for them. So quite a few of them, if they had small green fruits, like bell peppers this big and that kind of thing, and that was all that they had on them, time to go. There's a few that are 90% ripe, or like 75% ripe. They've gone mostly the right color, but they just need a little bit longer on the plant, and those ones I've left for a few more weeks. When I first went in the tunnel, I was like, right, so it's time for everything. Everything's going out, the tomatoes, the chilies, but I couldn't bring myself to do it with the chilies. A lot of them they were so close to ripe, but I feel like if I harvested them now, the flavor just wouldn't be quite like fully mature enough. So my red habaneros, for example, that is going to be a fantastic harvest, but it was a little bit too soon.
Right. Hear my dog's going crackers again there, so
I finally ripped out the courgettes. I've been umming and ahhing about them because they're, you know what courgettes are like. They like grow and then they die off, and then you get like the new growth at the tip. They looked really promising, and the yellow one, so the dark green one was still producing like they're about this sort of size. The yellow one was kicking them out at about like this size, and I picked them and they were all hollow and rock hard. It's like it was just too cold for them. They've just gone. So I was like, doesn't really matter what they produce now. It's over. So yeah, I've ripped them out finally, which was quite satisfying. But they never, compared to normal years, I know I keep saying this, but the courgettes really did very, very little. Like we didn't have one day when it was like, what are we going to do with all these courgettes? Not a single day. And they didn't get dug out once. So I can't even blame them. Like I can't blame a critter. They just didn't get going.
Too spiky for the foxes. I have one courgette plant that is still in the ground, and just like a few weeks ago it started flowering, and now it's got like 4 little courgettes on it. So I'm hoping they haven't done the same thing, but it's like the most courgettes I've seen all year, and they're on the plant now currently. It's incredible.
But isn't that weird? Usually that is a plant that doesn't stop. Yeah. Like you almost want it to stop producing. I think I've gotten maybe 3 off of mine this year. So not a good year for them.
I was really stressed out because I planted 7 courgette plants this year, which is way too many. Like you need 2 maximum, and you're inundated, and I've done 7 and got nothing. Yeah. I know next year I'll probably plant 1 and I'll never want to see another courgette in my life.
Yeah.
But
hopefully. That's the way it should be.
It is
we should hate courgettes.
Yeah.
I always did.
Yeah, that's the norm, isn't it? That's like good. It's a good year when we hate courgettes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The courgette sickness is a sign of a good year.
I haven't grown them for probably 10 years.
Right.
Just because of that reason.
Yeah.
And I found out after, oh my gosh, I've known Kevin for over 40 years. And I found out he loves zucchini bread. How did I not know this? Anyway, so I decided, well, then I'm going to grow some. If you like that, oh my goodness. And I got like 3 little puny zucchinis off them.
Oh, it's tragic.
And normally it's like one of those things every time someone sees you coming with a, big zucchini, they're like, oh, hide, duck under the table, don't answer the door. Yeah, so I planted 4. I thought I was going to have 1 billion of them. So not a good year for those.
No.
No. Listen, I'm conscious of the time because I know JB's got to get away there, and we're kind of getting close to the time. So, JB,
well, that went fast.
Sorry.
It's an early show because I know JB's got things on and that. So I just thought it might as well just on that happy note, not very many courgettes.
No, but
I would have told the better. I would have told the better story.
Go on, garlic. It's your go.
I'm done.
I was just going to say I was feeling really miserable. I was up there this morning. I filmed a plot tour, and I was feeling really downhearted about the whole thing. And then I come on here, and you're both like, "Yeah, it's back. It's time to go." So I'm going to go up there tomorrow with like fresh eyes and be like, "Right, come on, it's the next season."
What you need to do? Get a sledgehammer smash down your shed and rebuild it. You'll feel great. That's what's done it
I
for me.
love my shed.
Yeah. Doesn't matter. Get the sledgehammer. You'll feel great.
Actually, to be fair, there's a shed on the next plot that could probably take a beating.
There you go. There's your winter project.
Yeah.
And blame it on the
That's definitely what's
foxes.
done it for me.
Yeah, blame it on the foxes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Oh,
Hey,
dear.
listen. Thank you so much, you three. JB, where can we find you?
You can find me at NaturallyJB on YouTube, Instagram, and Patreon.
All right. Audrey, young
I know. I
lady,
wish I
young
could
darling?
say it like JB says it. I will be in the garlic patch later today, and I will also be Real Food Comes Dirty, YouTube, Instagram.com.
There you go. And Jess, where can we find you?
Plot 37, same places: Instagram, YouTube, here, and Patreon.
Patreon, yes. Don't forget Patreon for JB, Jess, and myself. That would be fantastic. And Audrey, if you need some help with them eyebrows, I'll come over there and help you peel them off.
These would be called eyelashes, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Doesn't need help with her eyebrow.
Yeah, my eyebrows are.
Tony. Come
Yeah,
on.
they're doing
I've
okay.
lost it. I mean, I thought I
That's
was still
okay.
in the hairdressing game and that, but no.
That's okay. You can't flutter your eyebrows. So
Look after yourself. Thank you, everyone that's come in the chat. Thank you so much. We will see you next
Okay.
week. Take care.
bye. Have a good week.